Okay, hey, how's it going? All right, so you had talked about different things in regards to you being called and feeling that definite pull, and that time after time after time after time, it was so clear, it was so clear. So I wanted to talk about two that were like that for me, but they didn't make sense until later. So one has to do with when I was an infant. I had actually asked in prayer, like, I don't know, probably just quite recently, really, you know, when was I being called to the faith? When did this all start? And the answer came back immediately, since you were born. And I was like, oh, I must be interjecting that in my brain. That must not be the case at all. And immediately this was flashed in my head. And this is a story that I have been told so many times from my mother that I don't know if it's one that I remember myself genuinely, or if it's because, she's told it to me so much that I think I kind of do remember parts of it anyways. It was about when I was 1 year old, because I was being diapered and I was very fussy, and she says that, I was always the happiest baby. It was a very unusual day for me to be fussy at all. And so, she thought maybe I was being so fussy because I need to be changed, so she's cleaning me up. And I still was fussing, so she didn't know what was wrong. And then on the radio, all of a sudden came from Nutcracker Suite, the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. And she said as soon as it came on that I stopped fussing immediately. I started looking around and I was smiling and happy. And I understood what that meant from my question, because that song, which, I mean, you hear it in every commercial. It's just, so common, right? Tchaikovsky, of course, was Orthodox, and so was Rachmaninoff. They made the most incredible liturgies, but that's another story. They're very challenging to sing. Yeah, so anyhow, I think that what was being expressed to me was the sense of overwhelming peace that I would feel hearing the music of liturgy, feeling that way of what I feel when I'm in the church, which is so unmistakable. And I feel it when I'm in the narthex. I mean, it's so alive that I related to that, and I didn't realize that until, recently. So here's another one. Um, I don't know if you know or if you've ever seen people who decorate with peacock feathers, but in the 70s it was very common, and so I'd go to people's houses and they've had vases full of them, and I would be bored, so I would take one and I would like balance it on my finger, or, play around with it somehow, and I decided that one day I was going to start balancing them on my nose, and so I did that. And I got pretty good at it, for the fact that I could like walk around forward and back and do, twirls and stuff, and it was just this fun little thing I did, I thought, for myself, as a kid, and I never thought anything of it until the one day that I went to go receive the gifts. The peacock feather is actually, the peacock itself is actually known as a symbol of the church herself, because of all of the eyes. And there are certain parts of icons that actually have that, or even iconostasis that have that built into them, that you can see. And you can just ask anybody, any priest, about how the peacock feather is an example. And I think it has something to do with something in Ezekiel and something in Revelation. Anyways, that's just my memory, but who knows. When I would balance them, I would bend down a bit, so my knees were crouched, but I was straight upright and I was looking up. And that's the exact same position that I undertake when I'm receiving the gifts. I find that uncanny, but I know that, the human brain will look for continuity, and it will look for patterns, and it will look for, it will create an answer where there is no question, even, So when you talked about how that someone who happens to be an atheist, will say, oh, so, you had an auditory hallucination and you fill in the blank. I know that to people those seem insignificant and foolish and yeah, makes me questionable as far as any kind of mental health. Okay, and I can understand that from the point of view that if someone told this to me, if I didn't have belief, I'd be like, uh-huh, yeah, okay. Because you don't have that experience, and so if you don't, it's really hard to relate to, even between people who have faiths. I think sometimes, um, just it's difficult. So, it's something touchy, and there are so many ones that I just never say because I've gotten in trouble really for talking about some of them, and that what can I do, except only tell to people who also have these. And then they'll go, oh, okay, yeah, you too, me too. Because these little signposts and milestones that just constantly draw and pull is like, I think of, I will do anything in whatever way I can to express to my child how much I love them. I will do it in words, I will do it in actions, I will do it in situations that they'll never know about that I coordinated for them to experience. For me to know that even away from me, because of something that I've done, that they're experiencing joy in their lives is not just gratifying, it absolutely fills me with as much joy as when I watch them in their own laughter or watch them exploring something or whatever the case may be. And I just think we're all just these little spiritual kids that, we're laying there waiting to be tickled. And so I think that's one of the ways that happens. So that's just my way of describing it. I don't know how you would, but yeah. So thanks for talking about those, and I could probably fill too many videos with these, just because there are so many after so long. But I'm really grateful that you're willing to talk about them and that you share it so freely. So thanks a lot. Peace.